Hey, welcome to video number 251 of Walker This Way with Hazel Walker, the queen of all things.
And networking.
I am Mark Simmons. Now we're in whisper mode,
We're in whisper mode.
but
It's
we want to
quiet.
yell to the world. Actually, who we want to yell to are new members. We want to
Yes,
do,
we do, because I'm excited. We're having our first new member Monday with the BC and the Indiana new
yeah.
members.
And one of the cool findings for me when we were looking at, well, who are the new members? Because we were inviting the last 2 years, is we have over 400 new members in British Columbia
Under two
who are
years,
2 years or less.
2 years or less. Yeah. And we have
Yeah.
about 230 of them here in Indiana.
Yeah. So there's a lot of new members, which is great, which means a few things. There's things new members know, and there's things that new members might not know to help them create success, right? So we're
I
looking at,
do you remember being a new member, Mark?
I do, vaguely, but I do.
I
Yeah,
remember being a new member and I knew nothing and there was no one to tell me.
right.
Because I launched my chapter, right? I launched a chapter. And there was no one to tell me. It was, we just had to figure it out.
Yeah,
Go to
right.
leadership, meeting, go from there and help everybody else learn. It was more difficult then.
Yeah, I remember being got inducted, which was called to the front of the room and a handshake and the new member kit. Sit down. Good luck to you. And then I went to member success program in person and learned a lot of information, or was given a lot of information. And that's kind of where it all ended. And then it was, you know, fight or flight or make it yourself. And
And you're just watching all the other people and seeing what they're doing.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
these are so how do I feel it? We were just winging it.
Yeah. So now, fortunately, we're in a whole different world, a whole different space, and there's a whole lot of different um, programs and trainings and education for new members, current members, old timer members, whatever you want to call them. There's a lot available. So let's look at new members. So we're going to be looking at for the next while um, videos really aimed at those new members, 2 years or less, on how to create success and things they can do. So for this
Right,
one,
common questions they might have
yeah,
and tips and things they could be doing. Yeah.
yeah. So for this one, what is what are some of the top priorities for a new member to be successful from the beginning in BNI?
Right. Well, one of the things I tell them right away is write your meeting in your calendar or put it online for the whole year. Like block that time out for the whole year so you don't accidentally book appointments or other things, right? Treat it as an important meeting. And anything that's important to you, you put on your calendar. Right? If it's like I go visit my grandmother, but I don't put that on my calendar. I just know I'm going to go visit my grandmother, right?
Mhm.
But I never don't put business important meetings down written on my calendar. And I like a written, I have it both online and written, but whatever you do, get your calendar in order. That's first.
Okay.
That's first. And then what else? You'll get a link and go do the MSP program. And while you may not remember everything in Business Builders, if you go do the MSP program, you'll start to tie things together.
Yeah.
That's what this is, right? You'll start to pull it all together and tie it all together.
Yeah.
Um,
We have to remember MSP too, Member Success Program is named that for a reason.
Member success program, right? And the nice thing is it's in Business Builders, so you can keep going back.
Yeah.
Right? You can keep going back and listening. Remember that here's probably the thing I would say to a new member: get all the education you can in this first year, as much of it as you can, and implement it piece by piece, because um, it's one of our core values, lifelong learning.
Right.
I attend workshops and I'm going to a summit in Arizona in February to learn, see if there's new things for me to learn about team and BNI and things like that. So it's that constant sense of curiosity. Um, and here's just one more thing to go into this. the traffic lights go out, right? And a new member sometimes will find themselves in the gray or the red.
Mhm.
Don't be discouraged. You're a new member. Give
Yeah,
yourself grace. Give yourself grace. You'll move up as you start doing one-to-ones, doing your CEUs, continuing education moments, um, doing business builders and being in there learning that, having your one-to-one. You'll learn and move up and move up and move up in the yellow and the green. But new members do feel discouraged when they see themselves.
yeah,
And frankly, they feel a little bit embarrassed about
right.
being down there. So
Yeah. And that's why we have membership committees and mentor coordinators to help support them through the initial stages.
yeah, yeah. And if there's anything I will say to a new member, give yourself grace.
Mhm.
Allow yourself to learn and give yourself grace and be curious about the people in your chapter. Give yourself grace and be curious.
Yeah, BNI, important for new members to know, well, all members really, is BNI is a system. And you never jump into any system and know it all from day one. You learn a system. Learn if you're using Excel, you learn how to use Excel or use Canva or any of the platforms you're using for your business. Well, BNI is the same.
It's exactly the same. It is exactly, and the more you're in it, and the more you use it, the better you get, and the better you get, and the better you get, right?
Right.
And giving yourself that grace to be bad. I just was listening to someone say, if you're not willing to fail and be bad and be uncomfortable as you're learning it, you can't be successful at it. And it is uncomfortable at first for new members, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Just give yourself grace and be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
then
there's a
just
lot
get,
of information too that we give
yeah,
out. You learn
oh,
a lot.
a lot. There's so much to learn. I mean, there's different levels, right? There's the new member, and then there's all these members who are serving on the leadership team that they have things to learn. Then they become consultants and directors, and there's more stuff to learn. So it's all layered in there.
Right.
It's
So
and that.
for a new member then, because it's about really trying to keep it simple. And so we say BNI is simple. It's not necessarily easy. There's a lot of pieces to it. Not going to learn all the pieces all at once. So simple as a new member. Priority, as you say, in your calendar, number one. However you keep your calendar, make sure your meeting's in there. I always tell clients, treat yourself as your own client, like schedule
Yes,
it yourself. So
yes.
put yourself in the calendar. But two is start to learn the power of one items, which are the CEUs, the one-to-one showing up.
Yeah. And we can
How
cover the
to,
power ones in our next video. We should really do the whole power one for you too, our next video.
yeah. So starting to understand the system, but initially it's having the one-to-ones, get engaged in member success program, learn all those pieces, ask.
Be curious, ask questions.
Yeah, I think that's the key. The key really for a new member, because you probably have a lot of questions, is in BNI, there's a couple things you get to ask for what you need and you get it. But if you don't ask, you don't get. So ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask the questions.
A great place, a great person to ask questions of is your consultant.
Yeah,
Their whole role is to answer your question. That's one of their major roles. Don't be afraid of your consultant. They're members.
yeah,
They're happy to answer your question. So do a one-to-one with them.
right. So I think if we're going to say anything, take the stress off yourself to be fully engaged and successful in month 1 and 2. You say give grace to yourself, and other members give grace to the new members as well. You know, we say there's about a 6-month kind of arc into their first venture into BNI.
Correct.
There's a learning curve.
There is a learning curve. And if you're curious and you ask questions and you give yourself grace, you will be fine. Just keep moving forward a little at a time. You will get it.
Absolutely. So that's probably enough information from us for now for new members, and we'll continue on in this series of how new members can create success for themselves as they move through their initial time and journey through BNI.
Absolutely.
All right, Hazel Walker, until next time.
See you then.
Bye.